starts with a spark, a vision so clear, where voices unite, there's nothing to fear. Access meets opportunity, we pave the way. Sharon leads the charge, Tamara lights the way. Forward with fortitude, we're breaking the chains. Forward ever, backwards never, no losses, just gains. Harmony is the heartbeat, collaboration the key. Authentic and natural, we're setting minds free. Speak harmony, where the world comes alive. Loving connection.
Hello and good evening to the third episode of Speak Harmony, where we speak harmony. Man, how have you guys been out there? It's just been amazing, amazing, amazing. Blessings to you all. And we want to go ahead and welcome our first guest of our third episode. We have none other than Miss Marva Riley, holistic health advocate, RN, international speaker, author. We can go on and on and on, but we want to just go ahead and shout out and welcome you to this podcast, Miss Marva Riley. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing, Sharon, and thank you for having me this
Ab-
afternoon, this evening.
Absolutely. You look amazing over there. So, we want to just go ahead and do a little intro here because there's a whole lot of stuff that you do. First of all, I want to ask you the first question. What led you to where you are today? Really, when you speak about holistic health, today we're focusing, this whole entire show is focused on mental health, physical health, financial health, and otherwise. So you bring so much to the table. I want to just go ahead and ask you, can you just share a little bit about what really started this whole holistic health movement and lifestyle? What inspired you to start your journey in holistic health?
Okay. Thanks for having me, first of all, and thanks for the opportunity to share my story. I'm still a registered nurse, but I was a registered nurse that practiced in the intensive care for many, many, many years. And we treat the sickest patients in ICU. Then I became the patient. I was very, very sick. No doctor knew what was going on with me. I saw many specialists, and all they wanted to do was give me drugs. And I really didn't want to go that route because I knew that the drugs were temporary. They were band-aids, as it were. I had cardiomyopathy, which is a weakening of the heart muscle. I suffered with depression and anxiety and insomnia. Then I went into early menopause. I had crippling arthritis, irritable bowel syndrome, gastric reflux, H. pylori. Pretty much from head to toe, I was very, very sick. And I was in my late 30s with two little kids and a husband. I dropped from a size 8 to a size 0. And I saw a physician that I used to work with while I was doing case management at a hospital, and he asked me what was going on with me. And I told him, and he said, you should try this alternative treatment called NATE, where they use energy to treat patients and reverse whatever is going on. And I did. And also, I had to have a procedure done on my heart, a procedure done by a cardiologist on my heart. And the cardiologist told me that I should flush the pills that I was on, that I should start exercising, walking 30 minutes every day, that I should eat healthy, practice yoga, enjoy life, and take care of myself. So that coupled with the other approach, the other approach that the other holistic practitioner had introduced me to, led me from being a very, very sick 38-year-old woman to now I'm 62 with absolutely no health issues. I came to realize that just eating healthily was not enough. I needed to have exercise as part of the regimen. Eating healthily and exercise was not enough because if I was stressed out, all of that wouldn't take me anywhere. It was important for me to have adequate sleep, for me to drink enough water, to enjoy nature, and to just have fun in life. Because we are not just our body, we're not just our mind, we're not just a spirit, we're a holistic being. So we have to address our health from a holistic standpoint, which is body, mind, spirit, and of course, as you mentioned, finance too, because if your finances are not intact, then you become very stressed, and then you go to stress eating, and then you don't exercise and you don't sleep, and everything just falls apart.
That was a mouthful and a half because you know what? The whole body, when we speak of wholeness, okay, we think, and health, a lot of times people think just your physical body, but they don't realize that they all work everything works in conjunction, in concert with each other. Mind, the body, and the soul, the spirit. And of course, like you said, if the finances are all jacked up, they're all screwed up, it throws everything into whack. But you know what? As an RN, as a nurse, not knocking the medical profession at all, and I tell people this all the time, I'm definitely for the medical profession. However, there's a place for alternate medicine. In other words, what our grandparents did back in the day when they didn't know anything about Tylenol, and I'm not trashing anything and I'm not advertising anything, but what I'm saying is that all those pills, those medicines that we have, that we rely on so much now, okay, if we would just fall back and just do a checkup, and it's not so hard, is it? Face the facts. Kind of sort of, it's not self-diagnose, but it's almost self-diagnosing because you're saying to yourself, listen, my head hurts. There's a reason your head hurts. It's not because you're stressed out mostly. A headache is a sign of something else. Can you address that? Because I've read so much, that's what I understand. That a headache is not just because you're stressed. A headache can be so many different things.
A headache could be as a result of many, many different things. And I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not telling anyone that if you have a headache, you should go drink water, or you should lay down or whatever. You should not consult with your medical doctor. That's not what I'm saying. But oftentimes when we have a headache, it is because we're not drinking enough water. We're underhydrated. Yes, we're stressed out. It could also be that our blood pressure is high and out of control. It could be that you didn't sleep adequately. All kinds of things. It could be allergy. It could be a lot of things that are causing that headache. But oftentimes, what do? We reach for Tylenol and we reach for ibuprofen. And Tylenol doesn't come without negative side effects. Like one of the top side effects of Tylenol is that it messes up our liver. A lot of people don't know that. Ibuprofen can potentially mess up our kidney and or can also cause digestive bleed. So Tylenol and or ibuprofen should never be our first go to if we're having a headache, for example. We might want to call our physician, and if our physician does your or her due diligence or his due diligence and says nothing is wrong, then you got to look at other things. Are you getting enough sleep? Like people tend to think that a lack of sleep is to be glorified. We need 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night. And if you are not getting that, try it and you'll see. You'll see the difference it makes in the way you feel when you wake up in the morning if you're getting 7 hours sleep as opposed to 5 or 4 hours sleep. It's not enough. We have to drink enough water, and coffee is not enough. Coffee dehydrates our body, it pulls liquids from our body. Coffee pulls potassium, it pulls magnesium, it pulls sodium from our body and puts us into electrolyte imbalance. So it's not enough to drink coffee. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't drink 1 or 2 cups of coffee a day, but a lot of people, coffee is all they drink all day, especially during the cold time. You're going to have some issues. You could be dehydrated. You end up with headaches. Sometimes we're addicted to coffee. You get coffee withdrawal headaches. So a headache can be something serious, but it could be something as as quote unquote not serious as we might be dehydrated or we're lacking sleep or we're stressed out. But it could also be things like your blood pressure is out of whack. So you should get it checked out.
And I'm glad you said that, Marva, because you know what? Coffee. I just got speaking to someone yesterday, and she said to me, "Oh my God, I'm on my third or fourth cup of coffee, and girl, I can't function without it because I'm running on, so much I'm doing. I have so much going on, and that's when I think people tend to crash and burn. They may think that they're on a high, but I mean, technically, they're setting themselves up for a low because I've read where, it will shoot you up. It'll make you, keep you at that point where you want to be steady, flowing, functioning. But when you crash, you go deep. So, thing is, like you said, Marva, no one's advocating for you to fall off your coffee binge or whatever it is. Stop taking your coffee, take a nosedive. But you have to really mindfully monitor your intake and get balance, get some balance in your life. I mean, if you have to study, like people say, if I have to stay up late at nights or if I have to work through long hours, I depend on caffeine. That's the only thing that can get me through. Speak to that a little bit, because I really am touching on it because I want to know, and I've read, and so I just want to know about that. How does that work? What do you suggest?
I'm so glad you brought up the coffee thing because when I worked in intensive care in Florida, I had a patient who came into the intensive care. She was in her mid 50s, a very, very rich lady. She owned an entire block in the downtown area of Fort Lauderdale. And her personal attendant or assistant came in with her because he went to the office her office was in her home, and he found her unresponsive. So he called 911, and when they brought her to the emergency room, they did all kind of scans and nothing showed up. And what was the diagnosis? Coffee intoxication. And her assistant told us that she would get up in the morning with a pack of cigarette and put on a big pot of coffee, those big coffee makers that make 10 cups of coffee. And she would drink that and smoke until it's done. And then she'll put another pot and another pot. All day she would drink coffee, and at night too. And she went into a coffee intoxication. She was in a coma. And we had to put a drip on her, and they just kind of let her sleep and sleep and sleep until she slept off that coffee that was in her blood. It nearly killed her. Another story I have about caffeine intoxication is that I used to go to a church in Fort Lauderdale, and there was a young lady who was in studying. She was like in her first year of college, and she was drinking Red Bull to stay up at night so she could study because she also worked in the day. Well, she also went into a coma. Two different incidents. She went into a coma from caffeine intoxication and overdose. And she nearly died because her kidney started failing, her liver started failing, and her heart started failing. So coffee is nothing to be joke around. I'm not saying that you cannot have coffee, because I do have a cup of coffee, in the mornings. I sometimes have regular coffee, or I'll have dandelion coffee or something like that, and it's more out of habit. And like my husband, he enjoys a cup of coffee because it gives him a little energy. And I'm not saying you can't have a cup or two of coffee, but people drink coffee all day, and sometimes they wonder why they can't sleep at night, because coffee has a long half-life. I think it has like an 8-hour half-life. That means it takes 8 hours for that coffee to get out of your blood. And so if you're drinking coffee, it's recommended actually that you don't have coffee afternoon. Because if you're drinking coffee afternoon, and you're not, and you're going to bed 11 o'clock or so, it's still in your system. And that might be one of the reasons why you cannot sleep. And coffee depletes us of magnesium, which magnesium is a relaxing mineral, helps us to rest and relax and sleep. Magnesium is also good for the heart. Potassium is good for the heart. Sodium is good for the heart and the kidney. And coffee pulls those electrolytes and minerals out of our body as we urinate, because it's a diuretic. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you have to think. I mean, there's a lady that called me the other day. She has a podcast, and she wanted me to be on her podcast. And she was telling me that she went to her doctor for some health issues. And her doctor was telling her, you got to back off that coffee. You're drinking too much coffee. Her medical doctor. And she said she said
Wow.
something went off in her head. And she said, oh my God, I remember Marva on Facebook talking about how important it is not to have too much coffee. So she started weaning herself down. And you can have coffee withdrawal headaches too. Like if you normally have 3, 4 cups of coffee and you start backing down, you might have some headache. So you might have to tough it out, tough it out, tough it out until you can wean yourself down to like 2 cups a day, you know.
My goodness, I just heard that recently because there's someone that I know who's also an RN, and she too, she has young kids, and she was saying, I get headaches all the time. And her thing is the opposite though. She says, that's her belief. She says, if I don't drink the coffee, I get the headaches. And I'm thinking, wow, how could that be? I mean, speak to that a little bit, and then we're going to switch gears. But I just wanted to address that because it's not that we're knocking coffee. Is it the coffee? I mean, because is it caffeine itself, or is it an ingredient? I mean, what would you say
It's
is
the caffeine.
it's the
It's the
caffeine?
caffeine.
It's the caffeine. So,
It's the
so what about
caffeine.
sodas? I mean, sodas, anything with caffeine does that? Has the same effect or
Caffeine, I
similar?
mean, tea has caffeine too, but the coffee is generally what gets us into trouble. Although when I had the heart issue, my physician had told me to cut off everything with caffeine, meaning because at that time I was a heavy tea drinker because I had come from Jamaica a few years before, and we generally don't drink coffee. It was a tea, so I would drink like the two tea bags in a cup, the tea strong, and I had to get off all caffeine, meaning tea and coffee.
Ooh,
But yeah, there is such a thing as coffee withdrawal where you get this severe headache if you don't drink that coffee. So once she drinks the coffee, and I have read that the rationale for that is that coffee shrinks the brain.
I read that.
And then when you don't drink the coffee, the blood vessel expand, and that's what causes the headache. That's what I read. I can't say I studied that in nursing home. That's what I've read. But most people who drink even 1 cup of coffee in the mornings, if you don't drink that coffee, you generally get coffee headache. Because my mom was very addicted to coffee. She had to have at least 1 cup of coffee every day. And if she didn't get the coffee, she would have severe coffee withdrawal with the headache. And the headache. Yeah.
Man. So we're gonna switch gears a little bit, but before we do that, you said tea. Now you're crushing me because I was celebrated because I love the smell of coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't drink coffee at all. But I like coffee. I like the flavor and the smell of coffee. I walk in and I smell coffee, and I get a high of coffee. I mean, I love that smell so much. But I've tried coffee, and our own Blue Mountain coffee, it's so delicious. But do you know that once I touch the coffee, I drink a cup of coffee, a good cup of coffee, I get palpitations. My heart races. And that is why I was like, oh, I can't touch it. But then you said tea, and I'm like thinking, that's all I have. And I am addicted to tea. So
Yeah,
address
but
that for
what kind
one
of tea?
sec.
Is it caffeinated tea or decaf tea?
You know what? I'm thinking I only do decaf tea. But I have to double check that because the teas that I drink, all these herbal teas that I drink, I don't think they're caffeinated, but I'm not 100% sure. So now you're going to have me go home, check that pantry, and go through every single, because I have teas. I have teas, a plethora, a whole cabinet filled with teas. So I'm going to have to
Yeah.
make sure, because you just enlightened me totally. I know about the palpitations. I know about the headaches. I read about them, but Oh my God, you just totally schooled me. I just got my PhD in coffee. Okay, so
It is caffeine, but I believe that most, if not all, of the herbal teas are caffeine
decaf.
free.
Yeah, I
Because
think so.
the tea that we grew up in Jamaica drinking was this Lipton tea, okay? And that's
Yes.
why I was drinking a lot of the Lipton tea, which is not decaf. I mean, they do have caffeine free Lipton, but that's not what we grew up drinking. I was
No.
drinking the Lipton tea bag double in the cup of water. I mean, it was equivalent to a cup of coffee, to be honest with you. And I'm not saying a cup of coffee, anything is wrong with a cup of coffee or anything is wrong with caffeine per se. Just like anything else, it's too much. If you want to lose weight and you eat a big potato or big sweet potato or even quinoa, a big bowl of it, that's too much calorie. You're not gonna lose the weight. You know what I mean? So a lot of times it's the portion that gets us into trouble. We don't need to be drinking 3, 4, 5, 6 cups of coffee a day. But what if somebody needs 2 cup, for the that's okay. Just make sure you drink water to balance it out because that
Yes.
coffee is washing out a lot of liquids from your body. I'm not saying people shouldn't have coffee, you shouldn't have tea, or that caffeine is bad. Too much of anything is
It's,
bad for us.
there you go. Okay, guys, we've stayed on that topic with coffee, and we could go on another, but I don't want to waste time because we're narrowing down and we're coming down to wrap up this portion. This is so interesting, Marva. I mean, I've watched you on Facebook. I've seen your posts. I mean, you've educated me. I mean, when I tell you I share everything, I look forward to seeing your posts so I could share them. And people are saying, who is she? What is she? And I'm saying she's an RN, but she practices what she preaches. She practices holistic life, has a lifestyle, a holistic lifestyle. I mean, how do you really approach balancing emotional, mental, and physical health in a holistic lifestyle? How would you do that? How do you really do that?
Well, for me it goes hand in hand. It That's the thing with lifestyle. You begin by incorporating certain things into your routine, and before you know it, it becomes a lifestyle. And that's why I don't too much believe in like New Year's weight loss resolutions, because a lot of times they don't work because people just get up and all of a sudden they want to lose 30 pounds. But if you have been practicing eating healthily from January 1st to December 31st, and you have times when you lapse and you reset and you go back and you start again, it's your lifestyle. It's not going to be so hard for you to lose the extra 10 pounds that you gained over Christmas. But for someone who waits until January 2nd to start to work on weight loss, you're going to have some problems. And by March, April or so, you're just going to give up.
Oh yeah.
So whatever
Oh yeah.
you decide to do, you make it. It's important to you. Your health is important to you. So you practice and practice until it becomes a normal part of your life. For example, if I don't exercise, if I don't at least go outside and walk for 20 minutes, I don't feel good.
Mm.
Okay, because it's part of my routine, it's my part of my way of life. Just like how we get up in the morning and we brush our teeth, we take a bath, or we eat, we have breakfast or something. It's part of your lifestyle. It's the same thing with eating healthily, get our body moving by exercising, making time for fun, for date nights, for
Mm.
example, making time for your vacation, getting sunlight, drinking water. It just become part of you. Grab a bottle of your 32-ounce bottle of water and you say, I'm going for a walk, I'm going to drink this. It's a way of life,
Absolutely.
and you don't get there overnight, by the way. You just start incorporating bit by bit by bit by bit, and then build on it, and eventually you see, oh wow, I actually love walking, and I enjoy healthy foods, and I look forward to going to bed early because I feel good in the morning when I get 7 hours sleep, and the sun makes me feel so good when I go outside and I touch the leaves and soak up the sun. It becomes a way of life for you.
Man. So I'm approaching that time, but we're getting down to that time. But what simple steps can the listeners take today to begin embracing a more holistic approach to health and well-being, what would you recommend? What would you suggest?
Is to understand that health, your health is your wealth. If you lose your health, you have absolutely nothing. It doesn't matter how much your business is worth, your career, the nice house, your spouse, your children. None of that matters if you're diagnosed with a really bad illness. And especially it's going to be worse if you feel if you didn't do your part. Okay? So recognize that your health is your wealth. And then you make a decision because every change begins in your mind. You make a decision that, you know what, this is going to be my year. I'm going to start taking care of myself because my health is important. And I have to put that oxygen mask on myself first. So you start making some little steps. Like, for example, if you normally drink 4 cups of coffee, you could back down to three, and then back down to two. And then if you never used to eat any fruits, you start incorporating an apple in your diet each day. If you normally drink sodas, back down on the soda, back down on the juice, back down on the sugar, and start incorporating some healthier. Like if you used to eat donut, substitute one of the donut with say some apple or something. Small steps. Exercise every day. Just get outside and walk for 10 minutes. Or join the gym. There are people that are 65 or older can get free gym membership through their
Hmm.
Medicare. And you go to the gym, you could go to the gym twice a week, for example. You know what I mean? Or you get outside, or if it's too cold, you walk up and down the stairs in your house or walk around your house. But you say, put that Fitbit on or your phone and count the steps. I'm going to do 5,000 steps a day. If you don't do five, do four, do three, do something. And then if you are going to bed and getting 5 hours sleep, say, you know what, I need to do six. And you start incrementally increase the number of the length of time for your sleep until you get to the six. Start taking baby steps. Baby steps, become bigger steps, and before you know it, you would have accomplished your goal.
How do we end this? I mean, I want to go on and on, just have you go on and on and on and on, because you know what? Health is wealth. We have wealth, financial wealth, but guess what? It means nothing if we don't have our health. Can you tell the folks how to locate you, how to follow you? I already know how, but I'm just saying, tell the folks how they can get in touch with you if they need to, or if they want to follow you. What do they have to do?
Well, I first of all I want to let them know that I have authored 4 books, health and wellness books, and they are all on Amazon for sale for $9.99. And I especially have one that is a weight loss book that I'm sure most people are working on this year, and a recipe book. And all my books are available on Amazon. Marva Riley, just look for Marva Riley and then get my books. They're easy to read, easy to understand. I also have a YouTube channel, Marva Riley, and I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook. I have a Facebook group called The Doctor in You. And yeah, I'm just every day I'm out there advocating and encouraging and inspiring people to take the best care of themselves. I know what it's like to lose my health, and I don't want to go back there. And I know a lot of people are having health issues that can be reversed if you're willing to do the work. And if you don't have health issues, you don't want to have health issues, because it is no fun getting up every day not feeling good, writhe with pain, not sure if you're going to be around to see your grandkids or to be with your spouse or whatever. You got to take care of yourself. Put the oxygen mask on yourself. Self-care comes first, and self-care is not just about getting your nails done and your hair done, even though that's important. Self-care is putting the right nourishment in your body, keep your body moving, getting adequate sleep, decrease your stress level, and take care of number one, you.
And there you have it, guys. Marva, we're going to have you back in here, because what you just shared with us can't be done in a half an hour. It's injustice. It really is injustice. It's just not fair, because I follow you. Like I said, guys, listen, guys, I'm not exaggerating when I say I follow. I get on Facebook and I look for her. And when I see her posts, she's out dancing, date night. I mean, she is intentional about this. She goes out dancing and she dances up a storm. I mean, she doesn't care who's watching. She's like, oh, I'm just living. And I really admire you. So I'm giving you roses right now, giving you your flowers right now, Marva, because you have inspired me. You really have. You've been inspiring me. And I couldn't wait to have you here on this podcast. So I'm going to invite you back very soon. Okay? So you listen out to me. Tell your other podcaster that, listen, we're going to share you because there's so much to do. Listen, guys, look for Marva Riley and her books. She has written several books. She's done her stuff. She shared her information. So until next time, Marva, thank you so much for joining Speak Harmony. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. Speak Harmony. Harmonizing your body, your health, your strength, your mind, body, and soul. Thank you. Appreciate it. Wow. So, guys, listen, health is wealth. And when I tell you that we have, our second guest we're having, look, today is is Tuesday. We chose Tuesday to present to you health because we're starting the year off, and especially coming off the holidays, people tend to, we tend to do a little bit extra as far as certain things are concerned, eating, enjoying the niceties, all the good stuff, which are not so good for us. They're delicious tasting, but they're not so good for us. So you know what? Guess what? We're not being harsh. We're just saying we need to restart, reset, refresh. Hit that reset button, guys, because listen, we've got one life to live, and we got to make sure it's a healthy lifestyle that we're living. Okay? Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. I mean, Speak Harmony, it is. It's every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. We look forward to seeing you. Please subscribe, like, share. Okay? Thank you very much. And now we have with us our next guest. Wow. Dawn Marie Im. And I may have screwed up the name a little bit. Have I?
It's M.
M. See? M. Dawn Marie M. She's got one of those beautiful names that nobody can pronounce except her. Okay? So I'm just going to say she is the owner, the operator of Goot Wellness. She's a leader in holistic health. Solutions for chronic illnesses is what she specializes in, and a whole lot more. Dawn Marie, welcome to Speak Harmony. Thank you for coming in.
How
are you
so
today?
much for having me. I'm doing amazing.
You look amazing. You look amazing in my beautiful fall colors there, sister. Wow. Wanted to ask you, I know you have a business partner, a coach, Jimmy,
Yes.
that you're partnering with. But tell us a little bit about what it is, Goot Wellness. What do you do at Goot?
Okay. So I just wanted to kind of clarify what the name means.
Yes.
So I am a registered nurse of over 40 years. And I know I don't look 40 myself.
Not at all. Not even close. Not even close.
And just got tired of the sick care model in America and decided that I would go the functional, holistic way, and just started to do my own research and recognize that foods and their natural modalities that can actually heal your body. So hence I studied essential oils and recognized that there's some amazing benefits to that. And after I got my certification, I went into IV hydration, vitamins. So the name Goot means drip or drop in French. And so our tagline at Goot is healing the body one drop at a time. So all the natural oils, the IV hydration, all the things that we do lead to healing the body one drop at a time. So hence the name Goot Wellness.
And where's that word derived
It's
from? Is it
French.
French?
Yes,
I thought
it's
so.
French.
Yeah, nice. I like the name
Yes.
too. Goot. You know, you do so much because I've been to your spot, your spa, your place, and I mean, honestly, every time I go there, I don't want to leave.
I know it.
I just don't want to leave. I walk. First of all, it's so inviting. So when you pull up to the space, it's just so inviting. But once you hit that door, you get behind those doors, forget it. You just want to sit there and chill because the smell, the oils, the essential oils, just right up your
Bursting.
nostrils. I mean, it's just it pulls you in.
Yes.
And I mean, just the way you have the layout and what you provide for the folks. Tell people a little bit, because there are people listening, watching, that don't know what IV therapy is. I mean, what is
Okay.
that? I mean,
So
for
I just
someone
wanted to,
listening for the first
give-
time watching.
Okay, reference to the fact that I really wanted to create a space that when people walk in, they're just feeling totally relaxed and decompressed.
I do.
And I not just do IV hydration and oils, but it's a holistic, full service spa. So I start my consultation off with using a cytoscan, which is technology that scans your body for 194 biomarkers in women and 193 biomarkers in men. And from that report, I'm able to determine what it is that's going on and be able to educate my client to say, this is going on in your body. Your liver is stressed. Your emotions are out of whack, that it's affecting your organs. You're dehydrated. And so my services are built around what could possibly happen in any report.
And ladies and gentlemen, I can attest to that because what she just spoke about, that scan, when I tell you I've been telling everyone, I said, she now knows my secrets.
Yeah.
I didn't even know those secrets were locked within me, but they were there. And so this scan, it told on me big time
Yeah.
when I did it. When you did that scan, I kid you not, I sat in that car. I did. I pulled out of your parking space, out of your driveway, and I went over in the parking lot.
What?
Yes, at what do you call that? Home Goods, right down the street. I pulled in there and I sat there. I just sat there for another half an hour because I'm like, my mind was fully blown. I'm like, oh my God, people need to know this.
Yes.
There is a place for holistic medicine, the whole body, the whole solid, I mean, from head to toe.
Yes, yes.
And so people are becoming more aware, more conscious, and getting more open as far as it is. But let me tell you, that scan told on me because I didn't realize and listen, if we had had a discussion, I would have thought she cheated. But because she started pulling out all this stuff about my history,
Yeah. And so
let me tell you, Dawn Marie, my mind was blown. I just like, that's it.
at first I was skeptical about the technology.
Yes.
But when I got my scan 5 years ago, it informed me that I was protein deficient. And I literally told the lady off. I said, that's a bogus thing. There is no way I can be protein deficient because I pride myself in going to the farmer's market, picking out nice fresh meats and stuff every week. How could I be protein deficient? And it also said that I was angry, which I'm not an angry person. And I was like, what is going on? Well, 2 weeks later, I was hospitalized, and my lab work showed that I was protein deficient.
Did you go back and apologize to that lady?
I sure did. I had to give her my report. And the anger, I was angry from a family situation that
Right.
was going on like a month before. And it just shows that emotions and your mental well-being affects your organs. And it is so important to know what exactly is going on in your body so that you can make informed decisions.
Right.
Whether you need detox or multivitamins, or some people need emotional healing.
Yes.
You know, some people are stuffing trauma down when they really need to be taking care of those things. So out of that report, we're able to comprehensively look at the body as a whole, your mind, your spirit as a whole, and see what needs to be addressed so that you can be on this journey of wellness.
Wow. And you've got a new business partner, Mr. Jimmy Crop,
Yes.
who's right here. He's joining you here in the studio. Welcome, Mr. Jimmy. How are you?
Hey,
I'm Jimmy
Jimmy.
Stanfield. Latravia is Latravia Crop.
Crop. Got you, got you. Look.
Right.
Mr. Jimmy. Okay. Well, welcome. You're the fitness coach. I mean, you do all that
am.
stretching and all that good stuff. I mean,
We do.
look, I like the way, you pull together, this whole thing. You marry both what,
Yes, I think it's.
Domri does and
Yeah, it's pretty much the human body is much is built kind of like a car, or rather, a car is built kind of like the human body. There's a few different systems that help to regulate the speed, control, and abilities of the vehicle. Some of those things are fluid based, motion based, and some of those things are mechanic based. So when it comes down to the mechanics of things, for instance, if you were to go take a long trip, you say, I want to get ready to go take a vacation. First thing you do to prep your car is you would, in essence, detox your car. You would flush all the old oils out, all of those things, and you would put in the new things that would make it run better.
yes.
And then the next thing you would do is probably get your wheels aligned, tires right, things like that. And then that's where I would come in. So we learned from Bob Cooley, which is the theory of Bob Cooley is like resistance flexibility, where if you go lift weights, you're going to apply force outward. And this force is nowhere near as much force as you hold because it's went from muscle fascia all the way through the stages of muscle and then force and then it's so like that. When you apply force against someone, it starts from the root of things. So you're able to enhance those weaknesses much earlier without the barriers of the actual muscle. So that's what we try to work in there.
All right.
And tools like this, stem cell things like that, stem cell patches that Ms. Dawn provides would be able to get you regulating those systems and moving a lot faster.
Wow. So you see, they work in concert with each other. There's a place and space for everything that we do. It's funny. And my husband's watching, so I know I'm going to go home and get beat up on this. He's going to tell me, I tell you this all the time. I've always told you because guess what? He stretches. He believes in rolling and stretching and all this stuff. And he's always telling me, he says, your back hurts because you need to stretch.
Right.
And I'm going, okay, yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So now, oh my God. So he's going to say, well, you had to hear it someplace else. No, I do believe my husband's saying that because I know it works because I could tell. When I wake up in the mornings before I get out of bed and I stretch, I stretch really.
Right.
I feel it. I feel it, and I do feel better.
If you watch, humans are no longer, they don't believe they're animals anymore. But if you watch an animal, they don't believe they're animals anymore. I don't know why. But if you watch every animal that you see, what happens is if that animal sits for even a couple of minutes, it ain't going to move until it stretches.
That's correct.
Whether it's a dog, a cat, a cow, they're going to get up and do what they do. They're going to stretch, prep their body for the things that they know that they're innately programmed to do. I don't know if I got to hunt when I get up. I don't know if I got to jump when I get up. So I'm going to prep myself in the event that those things happen.
Wow.
And that's more of a animalistic.
So in conjunction with what he does, he takes care of all that stretching and everything,
Right.
and I take care of all the internals.
Internals.
Okay.
See, and I love this business
Yes,
partnership.
yes, yes.
Look, this is what we do, guys. We've got to take care of this.
This help.
It's one body, and I just don't understand why we abuse it because we don't get to trade it in. We don't get to go. You know what? Yeah. Well, nowadays we're getting spare parts almost because we're getting new. What's that? We call it knees
and
knee
hips.
replacement and hip replacement. But you know what? The blood transfusion, the new heart, the new kidney,
Yeah,
it's
we
not
have to
guaranteed.
take care of those.
But it's not even guaranteed because
No.
they fail. So
And the
thing
body
is,
will
ones-
reject them.
There you go. So the ones that we're born with, guys, our temples, we've got to take care of it.
In a better way.
Look, our cars don't run. We can't run a Lamborghini
stuff.
on water. I
Right.
mean, or just cheap oil or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got to get premium oil, put in that
Exactly.
thing, and we do that. You know, it's so weird how that works.
Yeah.
Because we will go to the gas station, and we're not going to put the cheapest
No, you're
in that
gonna put-
Lamborghini.
no, you're gonna
we're
put
going to
the
put
best.
premium. We're going to put the
Right.
best. But it's so funny and ironic that in our bodies, our
Right.
temples,
It's marketing.
We put
though.
junk.
It's
We put junk.
marketing, and I think that's where partnerships like ours would have struggled if we didn't understand what we were up against.
Yes.
They're going to tell you that to have a Lamborghini means you're better than somebody who is healthy. They aren't going to tell you that to be healthy, you had to have a healthy state of mind to get the Lamborghini or anything like that. So when you get to work with Dawn and you find out through diagnostics what exactly is going on with you, then you have the opportunity to turn whatever Honda, Pinto, however you feel about yourself, into a Lamborghini because you can
Got you.
make yourself faster, stronger, and definitely more mobile.
and this is
I
my
have an
Aston Martin,
important
my Lamborghini
comment.
right here.
Or note to make on
Yes.
this topic here.
Yes.
Right.
You know, in my business, I have had clients who say to me, "I can't afford all that." But they're coming from the nail shop where they've just spent $100, $150.
That's real.
Putting on nails and all that fancy stuff is not getting the inside clean.
No, that's real.
It does not take care of reversing chronic conditions.
Wow.
Okay? So I want people to think about what it is, what is your priority for
Masking?
exactly.
Masking?
For
This is
your
what we do.
insides to be healthy, because health is from the inside out, not from the outside in. Not the fancy hair and the weave that you pay $300 and $400 for. It's eating the right foods. Oh, I can't afford those groceries. But you just left the hair shop where you've spent $300.
Right. Yeah, that's
So I do implore and appeal to our people
Yes.
that it's important for us to eat right. And that's a part of our culture.
Yes.
Right.
It doesn't matter where you're from, whether it's Africa or Jamaica or the
Any
parts of the
island,
Caribbean. We're
yeah.
eating good, fresh foods, and we have adopted in America eating all this processed foods that's making us sick. Okay? Or the incidence of heart disease and diabetes and the overweight is
Right.
just as high as any standard American, and that's not a part of our culture.
And you're
So
a
just really want to get that out there, that it is important for anyone watching that what's more important, not what you put on, but what you put in your body, that's important.
And you just almost, you were just going there and you segued, you went back to it, which was good. But the SAD diet, and I don't know,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, look it up. The
Standard American diet.
Ooh.
Not knocking America.
Right.
Just saying that
Yes.
because everything here is supersized. And if you watch people, if you look at, just go outside of America and study people outside. And I would say, I dare to say, Cuba, Jamaica, Bahamas, the
Right.
islands, just right out there.
Right.
Hawaii, probably. I mean, just places just right outside the borders,
Right.
the borders of America. And you see the difference
Right.
with how people eat. Now, unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy and Dawn, guess what? A lot of us have adapted to that in the islands,
Right.
outside of America, because where you go, wherever you go now, in Jamaica, I know for a fact,
Infused with
the first thing
American.
you see when you step out that airport, McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, and
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Kentucky
Yeah.
Fried Chicken. People line up for days.
Days for the chicken.
Jimmy, when I tell you it's crazy, I heard
Yeah.
this crazy, and I didn't believe it. 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
like, come on, some
But
chicken?
it is a game. It is a marketing game.
It
And
is.
it is what puts it, to cook well seems like a tedious task, they tell you. You got to cut the onions, you got to cut the peppers, you got to ground this, you got to do that. To shop healthy, they tell you, you got to look at the calories, you got to do this, you got to, but then they give you fast food. And that's a easier sell than tedious work. So
Yeah.
everybody's not gonna every day eat everything. That's a very disciplined person. Allowing yourself some time to get comfortable with newer habits is a great thing, and it's also a challenge that rewards itself when you do win. So that's kind of where we are. We recognize that there is a space for quality services to exist in and outside of the insurance field, because some of the things that we want to provide for you, insurances may meet us halfway, and then they may abandon us there because it's kind of beyond the scope of toxic medicines.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you touched on that topic because
Right.
guess what? It's leading into what I was going to ask about because and sort of have you share that because yes, there is a reason for that, and we're
Right.
not advocating anything. We're not saying you shouldn't go to your medical doctor.
Right.
We're not saying that you shouldn't have insurance coverage.
Right.
What we're saying is that it's honestly, and I'm going to say it because I can.
Right.
It's a game
Mm-hmm.
because what it is that as soon as you get to that doctor, and I'm speaking about personal experiences now. guys.
Right.
When I get into that doctor's office, I was there recently, and my doctor said to me, he went over, my whole list of whatever, why was I here last time and whatever. And he looked at all my results that I did, blood work up, this, that, and he said, oh, everything looks good. Okay? And for that 10 minutes that he spent with me, maybe 5, okay, he gets paid. Okay? The insurance company pays for that. Now, when I come to see you guys, the insurance company is not happy and not willing to pay that. Because you know what? It doesn't work the way it works with the conventional
Conventional
style.
style.
Yeah.
And so a lot of us, because we have insurance coverage, and you said the key right there, Dawn Marie, you nailed
Take
it.
care.
I would rather, and I'm saying it right now, I personally, Sharon Thompson, would personally prefer to take care of, to eat better, eat well, than to put nails on. I've been there, done it. And so my nails looking pretty and my inside, my organs are compromised. That's not a good thing. I can't just trade out my organs for new ones. I can't just go to the beauty supply store and buy some organs and buy spare parts, body parts. So the truth is, it's critical that we start with the temple. This is what God gave us. I mean,
Yes.
when we abuse it, I mean, it's such a shame. It's such a shame. We wear masks, and I say that all the time. A lot of us are walking around, we're walking
Hard.
dead.
Nah,
We're zombies because we're sick.
Yeah.
There's a documentary that we watch all the time. Sick, dead, sick, and almost whatever. I mean, these documentaries I've shared with folks. Not everyone, Jimmy, is willing to listen because most people, and I dare to say this, but I will say to you, you know what? I'm good. I don't care. I have to live, so I can drink and I can smoke and I'm not saying that's your thing. Do it. Do you, boo? But you know what? This is what it is. So for us,
Yeah.
we're really advocating health.
Yes.
Because we want you to have good health, and we want you well. Without health, there's really no wealth because you can't create wealth unless you're healthy.
Yeah. So I
A
just want to
sick
also
person.
point out that in America, the insurance company, the medical industry, the big pharma, they want you to be sick.
Yes. Yes.
They want you to be sick.
Yes. Because that's how they make
so,
money.
Right. That's how they make money, and they make money from people being sick. So in our industry, it's very difficult for people to pay $50 or $60 for vitamins or whatever. And insurance company won't pay for stuff like that.
I have a word for that, though. I have a phrase that I tell people, and I do it, and I don't care, and I make no apologies. I would rather pay my farmer than pay the doctor. Not disrespecting medical professionals at all.
Right.
Just putting it out there.
Right.
But I would rather go to the market and buy some food, some good food.
Exactly.
Go home and prepare it.
Right.
Then go sit in the doctor's office for 2-3 hours for him or her to load me up with some stuff, some
Right.
steroids, some whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's going to make me sicker because it's just a Band-Aid on the stuff.
Yeah.
And typically, I mean, unfortunately, because I have a relative that's very ill right now
Okay.
who ate healthy growing up, but he came to this country,
And this was
okay?
eating out.
And he just did a switcheroo.
Yeah.
And so all the Olive Gardens and again, going to all the other places and eating all that bread with whatever.
Right.
And he just says, well, I don't do it all the time. but your
Do
body
it enough.
changes. You do it. You've done.
responding
It's
to it
that's
in a
it.
different way.
And so we have to know our bodies. Our bodies speak to us.
I think that's where some of the pressure lies. Like when what Dawn said, when she's saying like, there's a balance between it's information.
Yes.
That's the first thing about it. It's information. If you can go to your doctor and your doctor could give you some valid information, then you're free to take that information wherever you would like. The doctor is in essence your personal diagnostic. You go there, you can get readings from them. You can get
Yes.
things that you can take and walk away and put in the hands of what they tell you to get, a second opinion. But it's sometimes better to get a second opinion from outside of the same field. Because if you talk to two people who have the same train of thought, they're generally going to give you the same roundabout answer because their answers come from the same school of thought.
Of course.
So take that information to a different train of thought. And I think that's where we come from, where you're saying health is a word in a state of being, but self is always available. And I think that's more when you come in and you get
Wow.
the
Say that again. No.
It's just like a state of
Say that again. Say that again.
I don't know exactly what I said, but it is. Your self is always available. I mean,
Yes.
people will market health.
Yeah.
This is a healthy way to eat. This is a healthy way to think. This is a healthy relationship. This is a health. But it's all self-based business. You have to bring you to the relationship. You have to bring you to the gym or to come see Dawn at Good Wellness. You have to do those things, and that's a more conscious state of mind.
I have a powerful testimony.
There you
This
go.
just happened to a friend of mine. Last week, Sunday, she called me. She's vegan and strict vegan too. She eats not even honey she eats.
Oh wow.
Strict
She's-
vegan.
Yeah, she's real vegan.
And she said, Dawn Marie,
probably
I
a raw
have
food.
not used the bathroom in 7 days. She was in so much pain. Her chest
She was very
hurting.
sick.
Yes. Her chest was hurting. And you know when you have feces all the way up, then you
Impacted.
start having gas. You can even mimic toothache and all that stuff.
Septic.
And I just gave her 3 ingredients that she could get from her pantry.
Oh, wow.
I said, take this. She did not listen to me. She went to the pharmacy, and the pharmacist gave her
Of course.
Maxitrate and glycerin and Ducalax. And if you're in that condition that she described, and I did do a full assessment on her. I did do a full triage on her to make sure that it's not, she wasn't bleeding or all this stuff was going on. I'm sorry. And she took that stuff and it did nothing for her but compounded the problem. She ended up in urgent.
Cemented the problem.
Yeah, that's a hardcore
She
stuff.
ended up in urgent care on Monday morning. And she says, Dawn Marie, they did an x-ray. So she's giving me the blow-by-blow report in the urgent care. Oh, I just came back from x-ray, and the x-ray says, confirm that I'm full of poop. I knew that. I knew that. She know that. So she left the doctor's office with narcotics, a muscle relaxer, an order for MRI, and a referral to orthopedics. She literally screenshot her discharge papers and sent it. I said,
Okay,
girl, that is
that
the
is
biggest
insane.
scam I've
Oh my
ever
gosh.
heard.
Network, though. That's a network.
Well, you
I
know,
said to her, do you still have the note that I asked you to write down the 3 ingredients? Mix them together and take it. Okay, Dawn Marie, I'm going to go and do that. She calls me 2 hours later. She says, I'm 10 pounds lighter. 2 hours I said, what did you learn? You went and you spent $3,500 now at the urgent care
Right.
when these 3 ingredients cost you less than $10.
Like $2
and
an
all you
ounce.
Okay.
all you were,
$2, $3 an ounce.
you know,
She's like, oh my God, Dawn Marie, I should have listened to you yesterday. I said, yes, you should have.
but you know what? We pay to learn, and guess what?
No, but listen to what's happening. The x-ray has confirmed that she's full of poop.
Of course.
How does she get a prescription to go do an MRI plus a referral to orthopedics
There you have
for
it, guys.
constipation? I mean, I don't understand this healthcare industry at all.
As we wrap up, I'm just going to say this to you. You've got to come back in here because let me tell you, this information we can't pay for.
Yeah.
And so I just want to thank you guys, Janet, Andrea, McCook, my sister, Janet,
Hey,
Charles.
Janet.
I mean, a bunch of people, I mean, are online here.
Hello
you know,
there.
How are you? I mean, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. I mean, you know, people are saying here, you know, we have to be very mindful and very intentional about things that we put in our bodies.
Yes.
Absolutely, Janet. That is correct.
Yes.
Mr.
You got-
Charles, you know.
The goal.
Yes.
I think that's what it is, the goal.
Yes.
The football player eats like an athlete, but he doesn't eat like a swimmer. He doesn't eat like a basketball player. He eats like a football player. So what is your goal? And your goal is based on your role.
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
I don't eat things that put me to sleep at night because I work better at night. So I don't eat heavy meals at night. I like it when it's quiet so I can function a lot better at a higher speed between like maybe 2 to 6 in the morning. I'm functioning at high speed. In the daytime, I have to eat more things that keep me going because and it's not that I've changed my cycle of sleep. It's just that I'm built that way. I think if you took that time, that's why the Zyto scan is important. And that's why understanding you as a person, what you need as a person, and not what the general public thinks is the right thing to take for your ailment or the right thing to do.
Wow.
Get the advice from somebody who can then take you to the next step, whether you got a detox or supplement.
I appreciate that. So as we wrap up here, I just want everyone to know, look into the camera and tell people where they can find you. You know, where they can locate you, give them
Okay.
your information. Because
So,
you're gonna have to follow
Goot
that.
Wellness is located at 2122 Vista Dale Court, Tucker, Georgia, 30084. And we are having an open house on Saturday, February 1st, starting at 10 a.m. in the morning, and we're inviting people to come in increments of 2 hours because we're doing tours through our facility to walk you through all the wonderful services and products that we have. And we're having door prizes and light refreshments will be served, and refreshments are going to be healthy, whole foods.
Right.
So, and there are going to be demonstrations like Jimmy's going to be doing stretch, and we're going to have an esthetician pop in to do some demonstrations on our products. And it's just going to be a wonderful time on Saturday morning. So we're inviting everybody to come out.
Right.
Is there a number that they can reach you? I mean, can you repeat that number
Yes.
again?
So the number is 229-261-1154. So you can reach that number to either speak with me or book a call, and we'll be happy to take care of you when you get in.
There you
And
have
look
it,
for
guys.
Dawn Marie online on Instagram. It's Goot Wellness. That's GOUTTE Wellness, and then you can always use her name to find her at Dawn Marie. Jimmy, I'm at FV3 _ Jimmy. So that's form, flow, function, and vitality _ Jimmy. And Goot Wellness will be the address where we both work from. We're gonna consider it to be the house of healing. You can get things done there that you probably won't get done at your
love that.
doctor's.
Thank you so much. I
No
appreciate
problem.
you. Thank you so much for coming in. I mean, I really appreciate this. We're going to have you back in here sooner than later.
Yeah.
You know, so we just appreciate. Thank you. And folks, we thank you for joining us again on this another edition of Speak Harmony. Look out for us again next Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, 7 to 8 p.m., where we speak harmony. And that's what we do. So thank you so much again for joining us. Have a good night.
All right.
Until then.
Wonderful.